If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. If you haven't heard the news, apparently I'm auditioning for a local news station in Missouri, right outside of St. Louis, because apparently they're having a tough time solving this situation that's occurring. If you haven't heard, people are reportedly hearing strange sounds in the night, almost like radio waves. I have no idea what it could possibly be. But, well, let's listen to what's happening in Missouri.
Multiple reports from North St. Louis County residents of a strange noise.
Yeah, the source of that noise is still unclear, and they brought their complaints to Contact 2's Mike Colombo.
Some sounds are easy to recognize, especially when you've heard them your whole life.
I grew up here, and I lived here when I was a kid. It was my parents' house.
Micah Mayfield is now raising his family in the same unincorporated North St. Louis County home. Their lot on Old Jamestown Road is less than a half mile from the Missouri River as the crow flies.
Living out here, it's super quiet. So you hear nature usually, and not anything else.
But Micah says that changed around the first of the year.
So low that it's almost inaudible, but super consistent. So usually in the evenings after 8, you'd hear a very low humming noise that would come in kind of a wave pattern. It's over long periods of time. So it's not just for 10 or 15 minutes and goes away like a train. It's not coinciding with barge horns. It's over hours. So, and the fact that it's so consistent and present over that time, it seems something more permanent and fixed in its location.
St. Louis County Councilwoman Shalonda Webb can hear the hum from her North St. Louis County home.
When you don't know and you're hearing something that's strange in your neighborhood, that gives you concern.
She's got the county looking into it, and so are we. Knowing Micah can hear it, as well as Councilman Webb to the west and residents of the Castle Ray neighborhood to the north, we tried to pinpoint the cause. Nearby, you'll find Ameren's Portage de Sioux site, the Spire STL pipeline storage facility, and Central Stone Company quarry. We even checked with the Corps of Engineers and Lambert Airport. Ameren and Spire investigated and say it's not them. Same for Lambert. We're still waiting to hear from the Corps. Central Stone Company quarry had no comment. So for now, the search continues.
Once we know what it is, we want to communicate so we can, again, put minds to ease. And then if it's something that needs to be addressed, then we get a plan and we address whatever the cause of it is.
Since I'm not sure what it is, it's hard to guess what they could do, but if there's a way to maybe keep that noise back from the residential areas, that'd be great.
We'll keep investigating and let you know what we find.
Very, very interesting. Now, I'm not seriously, obviously, working for a Missouri news station. I was just saying, hey, if they need Inspector Gadget or somebody to try to figure out what's going on, I'm the guy, right? Because I could tell you what possibly could be going on. I mean, I'll show you in a second, but according to this article, you can only laugh at this stuff, right? Because as long as they label it a conspiracy, then there's no thought process ever put behind any of these things that we all say, right? They'll tell us that radiation can't make sounds. This guy openly talking about hearing radio waves. We've heard of the humming going around in the last decade or so. People reportedly hearing these strange sounds. Everybody's heard about them. Well, here, they say some sounds are easy to recognize, especially when you've heard them your whole life. This guy, as you heard, said, I grew up here. I lived here when I was a kid at my parents' house. Well, man, what could have possibly changed? He's lived there his whole life. Now, suddenly he's hearing a new sound. And as you saw in that clip, they went around to a few places. I mean, gas companies are known to have, make some certain sounds. We've heard that before. But what in the world could possibly be over there? I mean, this article says that they looked at, let me just give you the exact locations that they looked at nearby his home. We had the Spire pipeline storage facility, Central Stone Company, and they even checked with the Army Corps of Engineers and the St. Louis Lambert International Airport. What in the world did we just hear recently about International Airport St. Louis?
There has been a lot of chatter in the last 24 hours over cell phones. Verizon and AT&T are holding off on upgrading to 5G service, and the hitch here has to do with places like Lambert Airport and belief that 5G could interfere with operations. While this all gets sorted out, News 4 started looking into this switch. It will have to happen, and when it does, there will be a pretty big impact to you, from your phone to your car. News 4's Russell Kinsall is live from Lambert, watching out for you. Russell?
Yeah, well, Verizon and AT&T have agreed to hold off on turning on their 5G cell service around Lambert Airport right here back behind me and other airports till they can be sure that it won't interfere with the signals that are used by some of the electronics on some planes. But there is no stopping this year the end of 3G cell service. So that means if you still have a flip phone, at some point this year it's not going to work anymore and you're going to have to upgrade to a smartphone. You know somebody that still uses a flip phone?
Yes, my wife's grandmother.
And why does she still use it?
She likes the physical buttons.
Flip phones were all the rage 20 years ago, but they will stop working sometime this year. 2022 is the year of much faster 5G cell service. Airlines have raised concerns that 5G signals could interfere with electronics on board planes. Associate Professor of Electrical Engineering, Dr. Kurt Kosbar with Missouri University of Science and Technology, has looked at the concerns.
I would not be concerned about aircraft falling out of the sky.
But with the start of 5G, cell phone service providers are shutting down 3G service.
So at some point, the older technology, the phone operators just move away from, because they can't afford to continue to offer all the different services, much as the analog television signals.
The end of 3G service could put an end to some built-in navigation devices in some cars. Also, millions of cars will lose the ability to call first responders if your car is in an accident. Check with your dealer to see if an upgrade is available. The end of 3G could affect some pacemakers. A very few still have base units that send a patient's info to their doctor by 3G. But the real concern is for many older adults with flip phones that won't be able to call 911. The Wood River Police Department posted an alert about it on Facebook. Joe Petrakovich is their 911 supervisor and chairman of the Madison County Emergency Telephone System.
We just wanted to make sure that we communicated that to the community and let them know that they need to be aware that this year in 2022 that changes are coming and they need to contact their wireless carrier.
Also, the end of 3G service could affect some older tablets and some older smart watches. I got to tell you, I've got a brother-in-law who still uses a flip phone, and he is not going to be happy that he's going to have to learn how to use a smartphone.
That's super interesting, right? Now, when you play connect the dots, of course, you still get these people who are completely, it's almost like they just automatically want to call us all insane, when all we're really trying to do is point this stuff out, because they love Big Brother. They love their government so much, they think that they would never hurt them. Sometimes I understand that perspective, but as a Christian, we know how wicked and evil Satan is and the people who follow him are. They're not of the same seed as us. These people are as wicked as, you could possibly ever imagine, if not worse than you could ever imagine. I don't think we could even fathom some of the stuff they've done. People out there have a tough time believing that they'd ever do anything, because obviously they're under mind control. They see their favorite celebrities on TV always donating to charity, which I've covered over the last 5 years here on YouTube. How philanthropy is one of the number one things they're taught in secret societies, to always present yourself as a philanthropist. That's why the Masons and the Shriners present themselves as do-gooders. They show up at the hospitals and things like this. So nobody wants to believe anything that any of us ever present. And I mean, this is a guy here, he's just, listening to radiation sounds himself, but I guess they can't make any sounds.
Hey, I'm Carl Willis, and I've got something fun to share with you today, part of what I hope will become a little series where I talk about radiation in the home. And so my demonstration today is going to be about listening to radiation. And we're going to use this microphone right here to do that. We have here a fairly strong alpha radiation source. This happens to be americium-241, and we're going to listen to this, and I'm going to turn the microphone gain up all the way so that if I want to talk, I'll have to whisper. And now bring my alpha source right next to the microphone. Let's try it again. This is going to be a radium-226 deionizer source from a Walkie Record-All, which is a piece of antique recording equipment. Let's give that a try. Okay, let's see. And of course, we should do a test with just a piece of metal that is not radioactive, or at least we assume is not radioactive, so that we can sort of demonstrate the same thing. So I'm gonna. We got a quarter here, and nothing. So
clearly they need somebody. I memean, does anyone know where Dick Tracy is these days? I mean, I can't think of any other, John McClane. I mean, boy, it's not hard. Suddenly there's a sound that appears, right? If you were an investigator, suddenly for the first time in the history of this guy's life and this other woman who's a city councilwoman, suddenly they just hear a sound out of nowhere. So the first thing you would say is, what's something that's new that could possibly have been installed around here? Didn't we just hear something in January 5th, I believe it was, and then it got pushed back 2 weeks? Didn't we hear about that? It was the 19th in reverse, January 19th, 911 in reverse. We heard something about that, right? Right. So wouldn't common sense for a news station be to even bring attention to that subject? What did I just cover last week, right? We have birds falling out of the sky. And literally people are like, a falcon scared them. People came over to the video, and trust me, I don't care. I don't get offended. I like trolling, but when people go over to the video and they're literally defending what they're seeing and like, this is normal behavior for birds, you just sit there and you go, what planet am I on? Because these people love and want to be protected by Big Brother so bad that even something like this, they don't want to believe because it's invisible to the human eye, at least, day to day, walking around without some type of, goggles on or something to see the actual waves. So they don't want to believe it because they want to be on their devices. They want to be hooked up to their technology. They want to watch their favorite Blu-ray movies, whatever the heck people watch. They want to do it all. And eventually, they're going to want that in them. So it's not a funny story, but it's just unbelievable. How many of these stories have we heard of the last decade? Humming sounds, strange sounds that sound like radio waves, frequencies. And then what do we get out of it? We get a couple horrible YouTubers who end up trending. The only videos you can find on 5G are videos of people wearing tinfoil hats, trying to debunk conspiracy, and they don't debunk it. They just use humor to deflect, right? They don't look into anything. They don't look into any of the documentation from the 70s where experiments were done with these frequencies and the actual level that these frequencies are being done at now, they don't look, they don't listen. They just literally believe whatever they hear. They let people like this, this guy I'm flashing on the screen, one of the videos that pops up with waves and sounds is a guy claiming to debunk it. Meanwhile, people in the comment section are like, you're not even addressing the concerns with 60 GHz frequency, gigahertz frequency. You're not addressing it. Millimeter waves, not addressing it. Because why would they? Because they don't have a clue what they're talking about. But YouTube will make them your information experts and put them at the top. Well, things like this occur and people can't even put one and one together. I don't know what it could possibly be. I mean, maybe they opened a factory up the road that produces strap-ons. I mean, what in the world is vibrating and making those sounds in the night? Give me a break. And if you study the people around the globe have been hearing this stuff for a long time, ever since they started introducing and rolling this technology out. Now you're going to hear more stories about it. And why don't we hear it during the day versus night? It almost sounds like a light wind, radiation waves. That's what it sounds like. So, they can't solve what's going on, but maybe I can, maybe you guys can help in the comment section. What in the world could it possibly be? And then you could let me know why birds are just falling out of the sky. We live in bizarro world, literally bizarro world. It's insane what they're getting away with. It's insane that they aren't even trying to hide anything anymore. That they're literally they're going, we'll say whatever. We don't care anymore. Time is now. We're doing it. And then they have these people defending them. Oh, my goodness. Well, hopefully he finds out what the problem is. I think maybe he should look a little bit closer to home about anything that could have popped up recently and been put in place. But, of course, they'll call us all crazy conspiracy theorists because it's the cool thing to do nowadays, even though all the people who are doing it are the biggest nerds / douchebags you'll ever see in your life. And they're so egotistical, narcissistic, and they think they have all the answers. They don't have any answers. They don't debunk anything. They just say you're crazy and you wear a tinfoil hat. That's it. It's insane if people listen to them. It really is. Anyway, I thank you guys for being here. I needed to rant about it. I just needed to laugh. I mean, this kind of stuff, of course it's not funny because you're talking about the health of people. But you're also going to look at it and just say, how stupid can people be? Oh, we called the township and they don't have a clue. Oh, well, of course they don't have a clue. How convenient. What is the taxpayers' money going towards paying these people to do other than nothing? Oh, right. Poisoning them. Gotcha. Reminder to check out the website at callfornuprising.com. It's $2.99 a month. I hope to see everybody over there. I want to thank you all for your support. I appreciate all of you greatly. God bless you and your families.